here in beautiful St-Jean-de-Luz. It is the end of 2023. We're here once again to recap last year's, place your bets, find out who won.
So now let's meet our contestants. I'm, of course, David Frankal.
Hi, I'm Hadassah.
I'm Kayleigh.
I'm Philip.
Hi, I'm Harry Burr.
It's Gareth Dennis.
Hello and Happy New Year.
My name is Alkinoos Kanaris.
My name's Paul.
I am Coastway Will.
My name's Baron and I'm David's dad.
So before we get started, we're going to introduce this year's Wall of Shame. Now last year the Wall of Shame was for those who couldn't count to 10,000. This year I'm happy to report that everybody has done their sums correctly. However, there are 3 answers from last year's that I'm excluding for being too vague. Yes, I am both playing and adjudicating the game, and that is a terrible conflict of interest. Unfortunately, it's my channel and I can do what I like. The Wall of Shame this year, for question 1, who is the Prime Minister? The answer, the leader of the Conservative Party, has been disqualified. For question 3, what is the latest royal family scandal? The answer, they still exist, has been disqualified. And for question 5, which politician or celebrity has made a complete arse out of themselves? Donald Trump running for president has also been disqualified. With that said, let's get right into the answers.
Who is going to be the Prime Minister of the UK? I'm going to put a whopping £6,000 on Rishi Sunak.
Well, I'm going to be more optimistic and I'm going to put £4,000 on Keir Starmer being Prime Minister by this time next year.
I'm afraid it's Rishi Sunak still.
I think Rishi Sunak will still be the Prime Minister.
Rishi Sunak.
Rishi Sunak.
Rishi Sunak.
What Rishi Sunak?
The leader of the Conservative Party.
Rishi Sunak.
Rishi Sunak.
So question 1 was, who is the Prime Minister? Well, it's still Rishi Sunak, which every single person, apart from me and Paul, successfully guessed. So the total pot there is £43,000. That is being divided 9 ways.
Question number 2. What are Boris Johnson or Liz Truss, both former Prime Ministers as of this year, what are they up to? Pick one.
I'm going to put £1,000 on Boris trying to get back into the Prime Minister role again.
I am going to put £1,000 on Boris Johnson bullying the BBC executives into letting him take over as permanent host of Have I Got News For You?
But Boris Johnson is spending his Christmas as South's 2023 Christmas formal surprise guest.
They're going to both be in self-preservation mode, keeping in the background, and both preparing for the 2024 election.
Liz Truss is going to be commissioned by the BBC to make a television series, an 8-part series on pork markets.
Well, Bojo is on holiday in Greece once more.
We're going to go with Liz Truss, and even though she's a plank, Liz Truss is doing nothing because the patriarchy is strong.
Boris Johnson would have resigned as an MP. I don't think he'll be very happy not being in charge, just representing some random London constituency.
Liz Truss doing the Theresa May thing. That's sitting on the backbenches, quietly sitting, watching and plotting.
Question 2. What are Boris Johnson or Liz Truss up to? Well, Kayleigh would win the points for giving the funniest answer to this. I thought mine was also pretty good. In terms of who actually got it right, well, Boris Johnson has indeed resigned as an MP, so Harry wins points for that. He's then gone on to have a column in the Daily Mail and a show on GB News. Somebody should have thought of that was pretty obvious. He's also occasionally heckling Rishi Sunak from the sidelines, interestingly on HS2 and nuclear power, so pretty based. Got to hand that one to Boris Johnson. He's made a fool of himself in front of the COVID inquiry. That's about all I could find. Liz Truss, meanwhile, has been keeping a relatively low profile, although some are speculating that she is indeed sitting and plotting the downfall of Rishi Sunak and conspiring with some of the Tory right there. She's also gone to America to give a big speech about how she was hard done by and her downfall was the fault of the left-wing establishment, including apparently the IMF. And of course she's released her honours list, which she deserves to get for some reason. So I'm awarding points there to Philip, Harry, Gareth, Will and Paul, so that's £17,500 and 99 pence divided 5 ways.
Question number 3. David, what do you think is going to be the latest royal family scandal?
I think it's gonna be Harry and Meghan. Piers Morgan is going to spend the next year talking about Meghan Markle every single day, and then at the end of the year, he's finally going to get his chance to speak to her in person. It'll be like a press conference or something, and it's going to be his moment, and he's going to ask her this really long and convoluted and bitter-sounding question, and Meghan Markle's just going to respond, "I'm sorry, but I have no idea who you are."
I'm also going to put £1,000 on some kind of interview or Netflix series scandal, again very likely to be around Harry and Meghan, and a continuation of that.
Well, they still exist.
It transpires that Prince Harry actually enjoys watching The Crown.
I think Harry and Meghan will want to come back to the UK, take up their royal duties again, be back in the spotlight.
King Charles is going to have made it illegal to sing God Save the Queen, so whenever anyone fluffs their God Save the Queen, King, they get put in jail.
Question 3. What is the latest royal family scandal? Reality has been somewhat disappointing. There's not much been going on. You know, King Charles III was crowned, and that was about it. I mean, obviously the Harry and Meghan drama never ends. It's gone on, and they do love the attention. You've got to be honest about that. Harry's published his book, Spare. There's been a couple of court cases, a couple of alleged dodgy comments about Archie's skin colour. So the pot for that was £11,999 and 1 pence, and I'm awarding points to Hadassah and András.
Question number 4. What is Elon Musk's latest embarrassing gaffe and/or scandal?
I'm going to put £1,000 on some kind of SpaceX scandal, maybe something like, why are you investing so much in other planets while ours is currently burning?
He will tweet a nude.
I'm guessing that he's going to bid on purchasing the International Space Station to turn it into his personal residence.
I think Elon Musk is still going to be doing stuff with Twitter. I think enough of the population's addicted to Twitter that Twitter's not going anywhere, even if it's owned by Elon Musk. And I think, despite everything he's doing, people are going to keep using Twitter because, you know, it's social media. Everyone's on it already, so people aren't going to move to another platform. However, I think he's going to keep making stupid little changes to Twitter that aren't really that popular, except with a small minority of people.
He's pretty much kind of conquered the skies. He's still trying to get his Teslas to drive properly on the road, so I reckon he's now going to look under the sea. He's going to be found destroying sea urchins while mining for minerals for the batteries in his Teslas. Something like that. Under the sea. Yes, you're singing it too now.
Nothing. He's dead. There's no chance he'll see out 2023 at the rate he's going. I think he'll have done some moonwalking out of a Saudi embassy by that point.
I think he's bought the NHS.
Question 4. What is Elon Musk's latest scandal? Well, Elon Musk has once again continued to be a massive prat this year. We've got that Tesla strike going on in Sweden. He stopped a Ukrainian attack on a Russian naval fleet. He's still pissing about with Twitter, making lots of stupid changes that nobody wants, like taking headlines away from news stories, and just being blatantly anti-Semitic. So for that one, I am awarding all of the £17,050 to, sorry, the £17,000.50 to Philip.
And finally, question number 5. Which celebrity or politician from anywhere in the world is making an arse out of themselves? That's a tricky one because they're all constantly screwing up all of the time. I'm going to put my final £1,000 on Trump trying to do something to undermine the election to get re-elected. He's kind of a broken record at this point. I think it's just going to be a continuation of that.
I'm going to put my remaining £2,000 on Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary. Viktor Orban will accidentally invade one of Hungary's neighbouring countries.
Keir Starmer, once again, I think I picked him last year as well. He is introducing he's proposing a policy trial to return capital punishment, and he's going to do that trial in Basingstoke.
I think it's got to be Nicola Sturgeon. I think there is some pretty bad underlying characters at the top of the SNP, and I think someone, and I'm not sure who, is going to be involved in some sort of scandal. There'll be some sort of inquiry into it, and she's going to be completely unable to answer any question. I think the SNP will try and get rid of her.
I was there with Donald Trump. He's announced he's running for President of the United States of America.
Prince Michael of Sealand, who will be attempting to upgrade the broadband in the Principality of Sealand and in the process sink his whole country.
Matt Hancock is going to unveil his own cryptocurrency.
So question 5, which politician or celebrity has made a complete arse out of themselves? Well, listing the correct answers for this is a very broad and open question. I do love the creativity people come up with for these ones. I'll start by rattling off some Tory MP scandals. We've had Nadim Zahawi, his tax avoidance, Matt Hancock's leaked WhatsApps and also going on SAS and getting abused, which was very funny to watch. There was Suella Braverman trying to get out of a school awareness course. Liz Truss blaming the left-wing establishment again for her downfall, everyone else's fault but hers. James Cleverly has managed to have 3 in the space of about 3 weeks, calling the Rwanda scheme he's now in charge of batshit, making a very unsavoury joke about giving his wife some not very nice drugs. And what was the other thing?
Shithole.
Oh yeah, calling Stockton-on-Tees a shithole. Scott Benton and the lobbying for the gambling industry, he might like this show. Andrew Bridgen coming out as an anti-vax nutter. Gillian Keegan's hilarious interview where she complains that no one ever thanks her for doing a fucking good job. Might be a reason for that. Kanye West continued to be just generally a prat, and the hilarity surrounding George Santos lying about pretty much every aspect of his identity. Oh, and Rishi Sunak getting fined for not wearing his seatbelt as well. That was too funny not to mention. So for this one, Hadassah did correctly guess that Donald Trump would continue trying to undermine the 2020 election, but Philip really caught us all out there by correctly predicting the SNP scandal and Nicola Sturgeon stepping down. So again, with this game, there's no real fair way to adjudicate based on how specific the answers are, so I can just kind of make it up and do whatever I want. So for this one, I'm splitting the pot into 3. That was a £20,499.50 pot, and I'm going to give Philip 2/3 of that, and Hadassah 1/3 of that. Which means once you add up all of the scores, we have a very clear winner for this year with £38,951.64. Philip is the winner of Place Your Bets 2022. And the loser, the only person to score £0, is me. Here's to 2024. The main video is not going to be uploaded on time. It's not going to come out today, but it will come out in the next few days. So stay tuned for the end of year special, the David Frankal Show, and I will see you all next year.